Blasphemy, dude. Well, blasphemy, what it refers to is saying that God isn't real, that the Bible isn't true, that if Jesus says something, it isn't true. Basically, denying God, saying that you'd rather drink water instead of wine in church, that's blasphemy. The thing about that is that it isn't real. It's just a word used to control you. You can say whatever you want about God. Curse him, blaspheme him, say whatever you want. It doesn't matter which God. And I don't even want to talk about the other gods. It just pisses people off, you know what I'm saying? It just does, you know what I'm saying? But you can say about anything you want about any God because they don't exist. In this world, you have to bless yourself. You have to bless yourself. As for soup kitchens that are like St. Vincent de Paul and other like Food and Care Coalition, shit like that run by the churches, maybe even the government, I don't know, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like some homeless shelters are run by the government. They'll kick you out like in 3 months. Some homeless shelters will just let you stay at night. You know, or they'll pay for your hotel. The church will, if it's snowing a lot, and if it's really cold and shit like that. You might think that they're really helping you out. But why don't they give you a backpack with a sleeping bag? Some do. Some give you a sleeping bag. Like in Phoenix, Arizona, they'll give you a sleeping bag. But in here, they're not going to give you a $500 sleeping bag with a tent and canned food or like something to keep your food heated. Like in the military, they give you an MRE. You stick this thing and it heats your food and shit like that. You know, and as for that, dude, like, they got me constipated on purpose. Who wonders why I can't eat? You know what I'm saying? If I don't take the medication, I stop eating. Was it the military? You know, because they got me constipated for like 2 days. And then they said, take a shit. It's going to be a big turd. You know, so I don't know about that. But I did make up a story back in like 2004 or 5. Like in 2004. Where I said I drank meth. That somebody gave me this thing full of meth. And that I was like really sick. I had snorted it. The thing about that is that they called an ambulance. The cops were gonna arrest me. They were gonna arrest me and they called an ambulance. I didn't even know they were gonna do this, but they calmed me down with some tranquilizer. I don't know if it was intravenously or a pill. I don't even remember. But you know how they did? They pumped my stomach and filled it with charcoal. So was it Utah Valley Medical Regional and messed up my stomach where I stopped eating and drinking water? It very well could be, it did. And I can't sue them because it's been past 2 years. But it could be the same people who were trying to help me that messed up my stomach by pumping my stomach. I got my stomach pumped. When I woke up, I felt kind of alright. Then I threw up. And they wanted to call a taxi for me. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to walk. And they ripped my clothes. So I had no clothes. They had ripped them and they pumped my stomach. I don't know what it felt like. They knocked me out. They knocked me out with medicine or drugs, whatever you want to call it. They pumped my stomach. And that was like 2004, 2005. And in 2007, in Pinedale, Wyoming, I started not eating. So was it the military? Probably not. Was it them pumping my stomach to get the meth out, even though I had snorted it too much? And I was like really fucking high. And I couldn't take that shit. It was some really fucking strong shit. And I was having a panic attack. And they said I wasn't even gonna die. But they pumped my stomach out. They piss test me. And fucking they piss test me, and it was methamphetamines, which they told me it was. I snorted it, you know what I'm saying? I snorted like 4 lines. Holy shit, I was high. But they pumped my stomach, And 2 to 3 years later, I stopped eating. I stopped drinking water. They started trying to get me medicated in a state hospital in jail was in Pinedale when they wanted to be like say I wasn't eating, and I was hearing voices and seeing shit, and they sent me to a state hospital in Evanston, which was forensics, which was a real shitty hospital. I mean, they really wanted to get me. And I ended up going to federal. I said I didn't hear voices, I didn't see things. But I got really fucking skinny. And they sent me to this hospital in South Carolina from federal. From Eloy, Arizona, my parents told me I was sick, that I was crazy, that they couldn't deport me. Because it was a federal detention center for like deportation. For pushing a foreman in a hotel where I vomited my ass off. And fucking, from drinking like gin or wine, not wine, or vodka, I don't know what the fuck it was. It was a cheaper brand, it wasn't Jack Daniels. I should have bought Jack Daniels. You can never change from a vodka to another vodka, you just gotta stick to your own good stuff. And the thing about that was that they gave me a Haldol shot in South Carolina from federal, from Eloy. They took me to South Carolina, where I started eating chicken, I started drinking water. They didn't even know I wasn't drinking water. They just said I wasn't eating. But like, pumping my stomach. That's what did it. That's what caused me to not eat and drink water. They did something in my stomach with charcoal, or they didn't pump it right. They did some weird shit to me. And I didn't even know they pumped my stomach till I woke up. They told me that they had pumped my stomach and I was vomiting because I had charcoal inside my stomach. And I was still high as fuck. When I got home, I was hallucinating. I was hallucinating shit, dude. That meth was strong. And the thing about that I told an ambulance guy, is like, oh, you're hallucinating? How come they let you out of hospital? Well, it's just, they said I can go. Like, okay, blah, blah, blah. They should have fucking started giving me the Haldol from there. But the hallucinations stopped for a little bit. Like I said before, I saw, like, this other girl, this other woman, her name, I ain't saying her name, but she said she was gonna make me go crazy. And she said if I've ever been on acid, whatever the fuck that means, that bitch gave me a blowjob and ate it. And like, I don't know if she got mad, but I ended up fainting because she kissed me with my own semen, and I ended up fainting. And when I woke up, I fucked the shit out of her, dude. And she wanted, like, I don't know, or she like got paranoid or some shit. She wanted to walk. And like, I said, bitch, I kissed her. I said, bitch, stop, calm the fuck down. I'm gonna take you home. So I took her home, and she got calmed down. I don't know why. She was on heroin. She was all paranoid and shit. She was like really fucking desperate to get heroin. Maybe she ran out. I don't know. But anyways, they put Blasphemy. So anyways, I stole her car. I ended up getting Haldol in jail. Then they gave me in Vega because I didn't want the Haldol because they gave me cramps. But all I had to do was take the Benstropine, and it would get rid of the cramps. You can take Benadryl, break it in half, take half of it while on Haldol shot, 200 milligrams. It can go higher. The highest dose, initial dose, is 200 milligrams. It can go to 450 shots, 450 milligrams, from 300, 400 to 450 milligrams of Haldol, according to a doctor at Utah Valley Medical Regional Center, the same center that pumped my stomach and probably messed it up for me to like not drink water and not eat. Now I have to fucking take Haldol because I have blackouts, which they always happened. For all you know, I was always skinny, but this time they pumped my stomach, you know, and shit like that. But anyways, you gotta bless yourself in this fucking life. What did I do? I beat up some dude. They blocked me up. I wasn't eating. I was saying I was sick. They gave me Seroquel. It made me too sleepy. I didn't want to take it. They wouldn't let me out of my room. This is in Pinedale. They wouldn't let me out of my room. This is 2007. But anyways, like 2007, they wouldn't let me out of my room. They sent me to state hospital in Evanston. Blah, 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 blah. You know the rest. They didn't give me anything there. I conned my way out of there. But anyways, as for blasphemy, you gotta bless yourself. See, if I would have never gotten in a fight with that dude that said he wanted to rape me because I woke him up because I was complaining how sick I felt, if I wouldn't have fought my way out of it, screamed at officers, and they knew I was crazy. I was pissing myself. I was pissing all over the place. They sent me to the hospital, but you gotta bless yourself. God ain't gonna bless you. There ain't no God. God ain't gonna save you. Jesus ain't gonna save you. Yahweh is not gonna save you. Jehovah's not gonna save you. Allah's not gonna save you. Shiva's not gonna save you. Elephants are not gods. Like I said before, you gotta eat. You gotta drink water. As for the soup kitchens, they're alright. But without them, there'd be chaos. There'd be more crime. People would be stealing food at grocery markets, and they go to jail, and they'd have to feed them anyways. Here in the United States anyways. I don't know about other places. Here in the United States, they feed you. As soon as you get in. Here in the States, they'll give you a snack. They'll give you like a little sack lunch, and then they'll start giving you 3 meals a day with no snacks after the third meal. You know? Basically, you're blessing yourself in the United States. If you steal in a grocery store, you're going to get caught, get shoplifting, go to jail. You're going to get fed for 3 months or a month or 3 months. You know, if you murder somebody for money. See, it's just a con game. If they didn't feed you, there would be more crime. If you're down on your luck, there'd be more crime. And these churches, they're fake. Am I Catholic? I have a T in my maiden name. That's the only way I can swallow that fucking cross. That's the only way I can. Because I have a T on my name. That's the only way I can swallow that cross. You know, that's the only way I can wear it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. That's my maiden name, last name. You know, Talamantes has 2 T's. You know. As for that, a T for that, that's 3 crosses. That's 3 fucking crosses, dude. 3 crosses. One there in my body, there's a T there somewhere, there's a T somewhere. Talamantes, 2 T's. That's 3 fucking crosses. You know how fucking jinxed I am? But I have to wear it. Because of the T's. It just makes perfect sense for me. You know? So anyways, bless yourself in this world any way you can. No one's gonna bless you. By the way, you're born into this world. You cannot make life out of more life. You cannot make life out of life. All these people that say they were born, they were robots. Robots. I was born. I'm real. I was born. I was born into a world of robotics. Things that look human but are not human. They call them some humans, but it's impossible to be a human. They don't just grow on trees. Dogs, cats, fish, insects, birds, microbes. They're all robots. I'm real, and I'm gonna survive. You know what I'm saying?